So, last class we had the field compaction methods, where we have seen the number of rollers, number of vibratory instruments like rammer, and various types of rollers. So, we can compact soil for our construction purpose. Normally, every construction in civil engineering, all the structures are contact with our earthen surface or soil, contact with soil. So it is necessary to before construction the compacting the soil or soil materials to getting a very good density, or to achieve a very good density before construction. Otherwise, uh, in other way, we can measure the density, unit weight, or the maximum density which can give the soil for particular area, for particular location. So this is important for to find out the density of soil through compaction test, or number of compaction tests are there. The standard compaction test, heavy compaction test, light compaction test. So through compaction test we can measure the density of the soil, as well as the required density we can achieve our soil through various methods uh, by carried out in the field. Now, after the field compaction methods, we have another challenging thing, that is field compaction control. Okay, the field compaction control normally consists of the determination of water content at which the soil has been compacted. So now we have some idea that the water content, one of the important factor of soil, which maintain the density, maximum density of the soil. So without water content we cannot achieve the maximum density of the soil. So water content, one of the important factor, this is known to us now. So first, water content at which the soil has been compacted, the dry density, hence the degree of compaction. Okay, so dry density, another factor, one is water content, another is dry density. These two factors which are controlled the density of the soil. Okay, and this density is important to us because we will construct our structure on the earth surface. For proper compaction control, as the work progresses, rapid methods of testing must be used. So during construction, normally in the lab we can measure the water content, we can measure the density, everything we can measure in lab. But in the field we have required the very fast results. We need the results very fast, in a fast way. So what are the methods through which we can get the our parameters? And suppose water content one of the parameter, and density one of the parameter. So through which method we can get the results very quickly? Suppose water content, we need the water content result. As we know, in lab at least 24 hours, we have required at least 24 hours to get the water content result. But there is another method through which we can get quickly the water content value. Okay, so the rapid determination of water content can be done by two methods. There are two methods through which we can calculate the water content of the soil. Number one, the calcium carbide method. Calcium carbide method. So one method is calcium carbide method, and another method is the Proctor needle method. First is calcium carbide method and another is Proctor needle method. So I think I should discuss first the calcium carbide method. Calcium carbide method is the this instrument, or the determination of calcium carbide can be possible in our lab also. In our BCRC civil engineering lab, we have the calcium carbide method to find out the water content. But in our syllabus or your syllabus, this method is not given. Okay, the practical experiment is not given. How can we calculate the water content by calcium carbide method? The another name of this calcium carbide method is rapid method, because very quickly we can find out the water content of soil. Normally I should discuss very quickly. In this method, in calcium carbide method or rapid method, 6 gram of wet soil sample is placed in an airtight container called moisture tester and is mixed with sufficient quantity of fresh calcium carbide powder. So calcium carbide powder is needed to perform this test. The mixture is shaken vigorously. The acetylene gas produced by the reaction of the moisture of the soil and the calcium carbide exerts pressure on a sensitive diaphragm placed at the end of the container. So when we add calcium carbide with the soil in a closed container, then easily a acetylene gas is formed, and due to this gas some pressure will form. Okay, and we can measure this pressure. Some pressure measuring instrument, some pressure meter is attached with this container. The dial gauge located at the diaphragm. Dial gauge means for the time being, dial gauge is the measuring instrument or some meter, okay, through which we can measure any displacement, any pressure, or any deflection also. In deflection of any material, some pressure, some displacement, okay, increment or decrement of the any material we can measure through the dial gauge. So the dial gauge located at the diaphragm reads the water content directly. However, the calibration of the dial gauge is such that it gives the water content based on weight of the sample. Knowing the water content based on weight, the water content based on dry weight can be found. Some equation is there. The method is very quick. The result can be obtained 5 to 10 times, 10 minutes. Within 5 to 10 minutes we can get the water content result by this calcium carbide method. The field kit contains the moisture tester, a small single pan weighing balance, a bottle containing calcium carbide, and a brush. A big container permits the use of 26 gram sample. In order that balls having wet soil inside the dry soil outside may not form during the reaction with calcium carbide, the soil may be mixed with perfectly dry sand. In the larger container, 230 mm diameter balls are placed. Proper pulverization of the clay soil. This method is specially suited to a circumference where water content is to be quickly determined for purpose of proper field control, such as the compaction and embankment. So normally I have one video you can see through which we can calculate the water content. Another name of this test is speedy.
This video demonstrates the procedure used to determine the
I think we should
calcium carbide gas pressure moisture tester, also called the speedy moisture tester. Place the box on a level surface. With the use of a bubble type level, make sure the box is level. Remove the contents of the kit and set the balance beams
video आ रहा है क्या?
upright position.
Is it visible?
In order for the test to be accurate,
Yeah.
नहीं आ रहा सर, आप छोड़ दीजिए.
जस्ट इस वीडियो को देख लो, बस इस वीडियो ही लास्ट है. वीडियो आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है वही मुझे पता नहीं चल रहा है.
प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं ऑन है.
प्रेजेंटेशन ऑन नहीं है. अच्छा ठीक है ये वीडियो देख लो बस. जस्ट वेट. हाँ जस्ट वीडियो देख लो, वीडियो बस यही एंड है.
Oils in the field with the use of a calcium carbide gas pressure moisture
Is it
tester,
visible?
also called the speedy moisture tester. Place the box on a level surface. With the use of a bubble type level, make sure the box is level. Remove the contents of the kit and set the balance beam scale in an upright position. In order for the test to be accurate, the calcium carbide reagent must be fresh. The shelf life is limited, so the date on the can should be checked to ensure the manufacturer's recommendations are met. Place the soil to be tested in the pan of the balance beam scale until the correct amount is present. The correct amount of material is determined when the red markings on the balance and beam coincide. Place the two steel balls inside the body of the tester and add the soil sample that has been weighed out. The next step in the speedy moisture test is to add the necessary amount of reagent. It is important to keep the reagent separate from the soil sample. Once the two are combined, a chemical reaction starts. The cap of the speedy moisture tester is inverted and placed on the end of the tester. Using the metal scoop, place a minimum of 3 full scoops of reagent into the cap. Make sure the cover of the reagent is immediately placed back on the container and securely tightened. Holding the speedy moisture tester in a horizontal position, place the cover on the end. Bring the stirrup in position and tighten the top screw to seal the tester. Shake with a rotating motion to put the sealed balls into orbit around the inside circumference of the tester. Rotate the speedy moisture tester for 10 seconds and rest for 20 seconds. The shaking and resting process allows the reagent to react to the moisture in the soil. This process mixes the soil and reagent together and breaks the soil down and completely dries the soil sample. The moisture reagent mixture creates the pressure that is registered on the gauge indicating the moisture percent. Continue this cycle of shaking and resting for at least 3 minutes. Check the gauge reading after each cycle to see if there is an increase in the dial reading. When the needle stops moving, hold the instrument at eye level with the dial facing you. Read and record the dial reading to the nearest 0.1%. At the completion of the test, the moisture tester needs to be opened carefully. Locate the arrow on the flange or lip of the cap and point this downwind and away from you. Remove the top screw slowly to vent the gas. Empty the speedy moisture tester and recover the 2 steel balls. Also examine the contents for lumps. If the material contains lumps, the test should be repeated. The tester gauge dial reading that was recorded is the percent of moisture by wet weight and needs to be converted to dry weight. Using the number recorded from the gauge dial, obtain the moisture percent from the conversion table for the speedy moisture tester provided with the kit. Complete necessary calculations. Thoroughly clean the inside of the speedy moisture tester with a wire brush and wipe down the steel balls and cap. Return the speedy tester, steel balls, brush, bubble level, scoop, and reagent to the kit. If the kit contains a balance beam scale, fold the scale before closing the box.
ठीक है, कुछ समझ में आया? हेलो। हाँ, ऐसे क्विकली हम लोग निकाल सकते हैं। तो लैब में पॉसिबल होगा तो एक बार करवा देंगे इसको, ठीक है? ये लैब में है, फैसिलिटीज है लैब में, हम लोगों का लैब में फैसिलिटीज। ओके ठीक है, तो वेट करो, अटेंडेंस ले लेते हैं। ओके ओके, थैंक यू कैन लीव।
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू।